October 9th as well when you're out here in Vegas.
Oh, great. Me too.
Okay, let's do this. Everything's going. Let's do it. Let's get it.
Okay.
We're everything going. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the newest episode of New Music Inferno. We have a very special guest on today. Once I uh, once I saw this email come through and the opportunity granted upon me, I was like, yes, let's have him on. Let's have this band on. Uh, Very influential throughout the '90s and today. I mean, honestly, this album that they're out on tour with, coming up here on their 20th anniversary tour of Whatever Happened to PJ Souls, which is available this Friday, remastered for this year, 2024. We have Scott here right now with us from Local H. Scott, how are you doing today? How's everything going in your neck of the woods?
It's good. It's good. Thanks.
I'm excited, man. I mean, honestly, I grew up following you guys a little bit. Like, I was 11 years old, I think, when Eddie Vedder came out, that song.
Uh-huh.
Um, but like,
Me too.
it's yeah. I know it's crazy to see like how these bands are still going. Like, I mean, honestly, like music from the '90s, and you guys were doing it way before that. You guys were a band starting in the late '80s, and then everything worked out as a local band. Now you're all national band, all this other shit. But this album, whatever happened to PJ Souls, came out 20 years ago. I'm going to ask you this. I was thinking of this question while I was listening to their album. I was like, what song today speaks to Scott the most 20 years later off this record? What is this song that still resonates or maybe can be relevant a little bit more to today's musical audience and just messages that you've had on this record 20 years ago? What message or what song speaks most to you
I
right
don't
now?
I don't know how it's relevant, but I mean I like the last song, Halcyon Days. It's just kind of the lyrics, like they're some of my favorite lyrics that I've ever written, and I love the melody, and it's just kind of like how I feel about life, like afraid of the future but bored with the past. It's all that kind of stuff. That song always gets me. I mean, the whole record has a lot of stuff in it. I mean, we're still dealing with coastal media elitism, so
Mm-hmm.
California songs never really goes out of style. Some band is always going to have a song about California for me to bitch about. So, there's a lot of stuff that's still relevant to me. But if this record was relevant to anybody else, uh, you know, that's for them to say.
Okay. All right. But October 9th is rolling around quick. It's about a little over a month away, less than a month away. You'll be out here in Vegas. How is
Yeah.
Vegas? I mean, how does Vegas treat you? I mean, I'm not originally from Vegas. I'm originally from Pennsylvania. But I moved out here 10 years ago, so basically now local. How has the Vegas shows been for you throughout the years?
Well, we don't usually get out to Vegas, and the last couple times it's been outdoor shows, like at
Okay.
festivals, or what's that crazy street in Vegas?
Fremont. Fremont
Yeah,
Street. Yeah.
yeah, we've done that. So like club shows that we do are like few and far between. So it's exciting. When I saw it on the list of dates, I was like, great. I'm always happy to play in Vegas.
That's awesome. I mean, that's happy. I mean, that's a good thing that you guys get to do indoor show instead of being out in the heat. I mean, honestly, it's September right now. It's still like 100 degrees. Like last weekend was 100 degrees. It was like, holy shit, this weather is nuts out here. But October 9th will roll around. You guys, tickets still available for Synwave out there. So go pick it up. I mean, it's gonna sell out. I definitely. It's a small venue, but you guys are gonna rock it. You guys are having support with Radke, which is going to be great. Another
Yeah.
great show. Uh, so Scott, like, what is the? I mean, you've been in the music industry for a long, long time, like we mentioned earlier. What is the plan for newer stuff? Is there going to be a new record in 2025? Is that the plan, or are you guys just going to tour, or what's the plan for next year?
I think maybe a new record should be the plan. And I've just recently been seriously giving it thought because for like the last 3 years, I've been working on this local H movie. So that's going to come out in Chicago. It's going to have its premiere date October 15th. So once that's out, then, I can move on to the next thing. Once I've got that out of my system, then I can give my attention to something else. And I think that next thing would probably be a record. I'm kind of weird like that. Like, I don't, when it comes to this band, I don't like to have multiple projects. Although, this reissue has become its own project as well. So I hate that
Well,
word project. I don't know why.
you hate that word projects.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
but it sounds like you're back in school, but you're not. You're really just living a dream that you've done from the '80s to the '90s to now. I mean, honestly, I'm proud of you guys. I mean, honestly, I was 2 years old when you guys started the band in '87. But to
that's
see,
a lie. The band started on Earth Day in 1990, but just so you know,
okay, all right, there you go. I was 5 years old then. By the
yeah,
time I
you
was
were,
graduating kindergarten.
you were
Uh,
right.
but it's I grew up listening to the rock music scene. You guys had the song Eddie Vedder, which was just like interesting to see a song written about a guy who just was kind of blowing up at that time in the '90s and stuff. And how did
Exactly.
you? Yeah,
Yeah.
and still going. I mean, honestly, one of my favorite bands, and that song was like, I was like, that's cool. That's a cool song that they paid a tribute to him in that song. But Scott, like, what does that song actually mean? Because I've never looked into it because I'm like, I don't want to hear the horror stories if that's something bad. I mean, honestly, we just had the horror story of Dave Grohl come out that he cheated on his wife and he has a kid and everything yesterday. But like, what does that song Eddie Vedder mean actually? Like, for anyone who
There's
doesn't know.
and there are more important things than what Dave Grohl's doing or not doing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
His, his private matters are there are other things that we can worry about. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, let's go back to the 90s before all that. That song's just a song about being a jealous prick, and like, wanting to be with a girl and she doesn't really think your band's very good. She'd rather listen to Eddie Vedder. So, I mean, that's really all it is. And for years, I hadn't met Eddie. And finally, I met him and I was like, hey, I just want you to know, I wasn't trying to take the piss out of you. Um, I've always been a big fan. And I just hope you weren't offended by the song. Some people told me that he was.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, yeah, no, I never gave it another thought. So he took the air out of my sails right then and there. And then we sang along to the Who on the jukebox. So it was a lot of fun.
Well, that's awesome because honestly, you guys, I mean, being that they're from Seattle and you guys are from Chicago, I honestly believe that you guys should, be as big as they are. You definitely have the sound. You definitely have your own Midwest rock, like grunge, whatever, with that sound that came out in the '90s and still going strong in a little bit of area. And you guys are keeping it live. Pearl Jam's keeping it live. So honestly, that's cool that there's no hate between you and Eddie on that song that
No,
was put
no. I
out
mean,
30 years
they're
ago.
just so we're not even in the same league as those guys, and like seeing those guys on tour, like playing baseball stadiums and seeing Green Day like a
Yeah.
few weeks ago and seeing Metallica a few days before seeing Green Day. It's just like these bands are still out there and they're still great and they're still doing it. And, I'm not a big, huge stadium band type of fan. I don't usually like to go see shows like that. But those guys know exactly what they're doing. They know how to do it right, and they're not embarrassing themselves. You know what I mean? They're all doing they're doing it right as far as I'm concerned.
And you guys are too. You guys are still around. I mean, you're writing a movie. You're doing a movie about the band. So Pearl Jam doesn't have a movie about the band. I mean,
They do they do have a movie, and it was directed by Cameron Crowe. But our movie's not. It's not a documentary. It's not about the rise and fall and rise, and it's not one of those documentaries that you see Amazon littered with. It's more of a. It's kind of a concert movie, but it's also kind of like Slacker, like that Richard Linklater movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more of a sensory experience. It's almost like you're playing a video game at one of our shows. So, yeah, and you could only see it in theaters. That's the plan. So,
okay, is it going to be nationwide or what is the plan? Like how far release is going to be?
well, my plan is to take it with me. It comes out here in Chicago October 15th, and I'm just gonna take the movie with me on tour and come to Vegas, wherever. If there's a indie movie theater in Vegas, I will play it there.
Okay, all right. So you could play it Synwave. I think Synwave has a projector there. You could play it there
Maybe
on the screen behind you well before the show. Maybe hell, I don't even know if that's the plan, but
is so loud and in your face and sort of like almost hallucinatory that I think playing after the movie, it would just be exhausting. I mean, it's 80 minutes of being at a show. So for us to do that an actual show afterwards, I just want to play the movie and maybe do a Q&A, and then everybody can go home.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the movie because it's gonna be an interesting take to see
Sure.
how you guys did it, and being that that's funny though. You mentioned it's like being in a video game. The rides at like amusement parks. I know King's Dominion had that Days of Thunder ride, and Disney World had the Honey I Shrunk the Kids, the Honey I Shrunk the Audience movie ride. Is it gonna be like that? Is it gonna be like that since it says to be on hallucinogens and all that? Like when you're watching the movie, you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but you're getting into a mind of the rock star. I mean, you guys are rock stars. You guys have done this for years now, and touring is going to be great. Being that you guys are getting back on the road and getting out of the Midwest for a little bit. But like you said, you went to shows recently. You went to the Metallica show. You went to Green Day. What for you? I mean, I love live shows. What has been the best live show you've seen this year, for that matter? Out of all the shows you've probably been to while you're at home in Chicago.
This year?
Yeah, because you mentioned a couple already, but what other ones have you gone to?
I don't know. I'm so busy right now getting ready for our own tour. I can't remember seeing any shows this year other than Metallica. Metallica was great. Green Day really knocked me out.
Yeah, I saw them last year. I saw Green Day last year at the club, Fremont Country Club, right before TwitchCon. And man, seeing them in a club, you don't get that vibe anymore because they're doing, like you said, stadium tours and baseball fields and all that. So, but let's do this. Let's get real quick into the music. Let's get to one of the tracks that's released off the remastered version of Whatever Happened to PJ Souls. We'll come back, wrap it up real quick with Scott. I know you got a lot going on with you, getting ready for this tour. So let's get to one of the tracks right now. Which track do you want to get to off the record that's available now? Is it going to be, let's see, let me get back up here. We have Everyone Alive or PJ Souls. Which one do you want to get to?
Let's do Everyone Alive.
All right, here it is. Everyone Alive of Whatever Happened to PJ Souls, and we'll be right back after this. Right there, ladies and gentlemen, was
Hmm?
a track that you should know about. Everyone Alive, right there from the album. Whatever happened to PJ Souls available now. Well, the remaster is available this weekend, this Friday. These guys are gearing up for a tour, and they're gonna kick ass. And they're in Buffalo, Cleveland, and everywhere in between. But if you're in Vegas this weekend, don't forget Wrestle Connects this weekend at Tuscany Hotel and Casino. Meet your favorite wrestlers. Million Dollar Man, Ted DiBiase, Devon Dudley, and so many more. But we are back with Scott from the band right now as he's driving. Well, the phone's up near his face right now. I love it. It was
Yeah,
like,
for some reason I can't hear you on speaker anymore. So
oh,
I'm yeah,
weird, weird. Up to his ear hole. I love it. This is great.
yeah.
So
Tough
Scott,
Suds.
yeah,
Tough
it's
Suds
all,
from Chicago.
yeah,
Tough Suds from Chicago is the best show I've seen all year.
okay, all right, there you go. But that's awesome that you now you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Is everything good?
I can hear you now.
Okay, all right, good.
Yeah.
So Scott, real quick, this tour that you guys have coming up, it's gonna be amazing. You guys are touching, Lidditz, PA. You're touching Buffalo, DC. You're doing Wilmington. You're doing Salt Lake, Sacramento. What what spot have you not been to in the longest while that you've like that you're excited to go to, and like you've been there before in the past, but like you haven't been there.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Favorite casino then in Las Vegas. Favorite casino in Las Vegas.
Circus.
That's like right down the street from where you'd be playing. So
Perfect.
you take a 5-minute Uber drive, get in
Maybe we
there.
can stay there. Yeah.
You never know. Or
Yeah.
you can stay at my hotel at the Virgin, where I
Sure.
work. So
Sure.
we can work a deal out there. Probably get you a
All right.
hotel room there. But Scott, real quick, tell everybody anything else you want to say before you get going, because I know you got to go to get other interviews and all this other stuff done for the day,
Yeah.
because you're gearing up for a tour and the movie release on the 13th, 15th, in Chicago. There. Anything else you want to say to the fans out there before you get going?
No, just see you soon. We're excited. It's good. We're excited to get out there.
I'm excited for you too. October 9th here in Vegas. Be prepared, guys, at Synwave. Tickets are still available. Scott, have a great rest of your day, my friend. And
You
we'll
too.
see you at the show on October 9th.
All right. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Everybody, that was Scott from Local H. I wanted to get a quick interview with him because I know he has a lot going on. But we are back later on today. We're going to be live with Scott Hosey of Wrestle Connects. And we're going to raid out to Man Cave Hawkeye because he's live and we love him to death. I know that was a quick little interview, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I did. I had a good time with Scott because, honestly, it was a good time. It was a good time. We'll be back live in a little bit here at 4 p.m. Pacific to talk with Scott about Wrestle Connects, and you guys should be ready for that. It's going to be an awesome show this weekend in Vegas, and then October 9th with our boy Scott there from Local H. Shit, couldn't think of it. But let's go to Man Cave. Love you guys. Peace out. See you.